So you did your very first Bob Ross painting, and let me guess, it didn't turn out the way that you thought it would. That's okay. You most likely made a couple common mistakes that are easily correctable, which is why in this video right here, I'm gonna go over the top 5 common mistakes brand new wet on wet painters make, how to fix them so that way your next painting is gonna become a masterpiece. Here we go. What is going on, all you awesome Bob Ross painters? Wild here. Let's just jump right into the list so that way I can help you out. The first common mistake that you're most likely making is you're not using any gesso. Gesso is something that you need to do when you start out painting. You're most likely buying the cheapest canvases that you can. And even though that they say they're double primed or triple primed gessoed canvases, that gesso covering is sparse and cheap and very thin. Get yourself a nice cheap bottle of gesso and add yourself an extra 1 or even 2 layers of gesso. What this is gonna help you out with is it allows your colors to spread more evenly across your canvas, sealing the canvas up so that way your colors don't get soaked in, allowing you to create beautiful gradients, and also saving you a little bit money on that oil color because you need less color to make it spread across that entire canvas. Common mistake number 2 is you're most likely applying too little or too much liquid medium at the start. Let's start with too little. When you apply too little liquid white or liquid clear on your canvas, you're gonna go from having buttery, velvety, smooth gradients that you're putting on your canvas to sparse patches that just look, honestly, it looks bad and it looks like poop. We don't want that. Now on the flip side, when you apply too much liquid white or liquid clear, you're gonna have a hard time applying layers on top of layers and colors on top of colors because there's just too much paint on the canvas. And this leads to the most frustrating part of wet on wet painting, mud mixing. And I know this is a lot of you out there. You all have to learn the appropriate amount of liquid medium to put on your canvas at the start. Lucky for you, I did a video on that. You can check in the top right corner here. But let's move on to number 3. Common mistake number 3 is all about making sure that you don't treat your mountain like a piece of toast and your palette knife like a butter knife. Too many people approach their mountain with too much pressure. And to be honest, you're most likely using the wrong type of paint. Now, I'd really like it if you could buy a firm paint. I really recommend using Winsor Newton Titanium White. This is extremely firm. In fact, I only use it for snow on mountaintops. Get that and apply a hefty amount to your palette knife. When you approach your mountain, you really want to come at it at a 45-degree angle, touching with the edge of the blade, then just letting it come down and try your best to let the weight of the knife with the paint on it do most of the work. Now I know most of you are gonna struggle here, which is why I have a couple of videos which I'll put down in links down below, or video description down below, and I'll try to put one in the top right corner that shows you how to hold this knife properly, but I also show you a hack on how you can slice in snow as a beginner that's gonna build your confidence so that way it can transition you into paint breaks, which will become a lot more obtainable and a lot less intimidating. But the tip here is stop treating your mountain like it's a piece of toast and this like a butter knife, because you're just smushing it in and you're not gonna get the beautiful paint breaks that you want or the illusion of awesome depth in your snow on your mountain. The next common mistake you're gonna come across is one that I struggled with for years. You need to use a lot more paint. I mean, really take a look at Bob Ross's palette when he's teaching you a tutorial. It's stacked with a ton of paint. And that's because doing wet on wet painting does require a lot of paint at times. When you're starting out as a brand new painter, I'll be honest, yeah, when you go through your tubes and stuff, you're very frugal with them. I mean, this all costs money. So you just squirt out a little bit and you try your best to get away with it. However, when it comes to certain elements in your painting, like snow or highlights on top of trees and bushes, and some things like rocks, it requires a lot more paint. So when you get to those certain elements, don't be afraid to dip into your tube and use a lot more because the results you're gonna get out of it are gonna be tenfold. Common mistake number 5 is something I teach all brand new artists out there. You need to learn to slow down. I don't care if you're painting with Bob Ross, Bill Alexander, Paint with Kevin, Andrew Tischler, or the most handsome one of all of them, obviously me. don't pay attention to the time code at the bottom of the tutorial you're following along to. I want you to not look at that. Enjoy the process. Learn to hit pause. This is your creative outlet. This is your decompression time to have fun and shine. I always say, grab a drink. I don't care what your poison is. Wine, whiskey, for me, it's women. Enjoy the process and have some fun. Make it a few hours. You're really going to see details and you're gonna really see results if you take your time. And the best part about this is when you take your time, you're gonna make less mistakes. And when you make mistakes, it's okay. It's wet on wet. You just scrape it off, clean it up, and try again. That's why I love this so much. And I want you to succeed and build your confidence. And if you want to continue to build your confidence, I've got a great video that shows you how to paint exactly like two awesome masters out there. Take a look at this video over to my side that shows you how to paint exactly like Bob Ross and Bill Alexander. It's going to give you some awesome tips to knock it out of the park every single time. Since I have my vices of wine, whiskey, and women, heck, I probably should get back to my online dating app. Still got 0 search results and yeah, online dating's tough. Peace.